minutes gone past 7 a.m. at this beautiful Thursday morning. Thank God it's Thursday. Right, I know it's not Friday, but it is. But hey, the weekend is already here if you ask me. For me, weekends actually start on Sunday. And for people, majority of people, let me put it that way, weekends actually start today. But come on, Thursday, Friday, what's the difference? Just hours, right? So you won't, blame me too much for saying that weekend actually starts today. But good morning to you. Good morning. And welcome to the Eagles Morning Rise Breakfast Show right here on FM 102.3 Abuja. Your radio experience you can count on. This is the Eagles Morning Rise, and it is your early morning booster, if you ask me. Yes, this is just, the right dose or proportion of energy that you need to kickstart your day. If you want your day to go well, if you want everything to happen, as planned, then you need to listen to this show. So join us every weekday, 6 to 10 a.m. Of course, matters. We also, brought you updates, from the world of sport and also outside the shows of Nigeria, happenings, from the foreign or international front, if you like, and also entertainment, because we love to be extra and also carry everyone along. Well, at this hour, we get to take a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers, and we also open the studio line for you to call in to share your 2 cents. Like you always best believe, we don't take your contributions, we don't take your loyalty, for granted. And of course, at the 8 o'clock hour, just because we got something, for everyone. Vicky Vic, the sports minister on radio, will be here to thrill you and give you a run for your money on, of course, sports on Eagles Wings. You also get to call in to share your 2 cents like you always do. And of course, at the 9 o'clock hour, I definitely would come back or return to talk, politics and current affairs issues. It appears there is indeed light at the end of the tunnel because of, the latest updates we've seen and heard with regards to, the almighty Port Harcourt refinery, of course, and fingers are crossed, to see how, other, local refineries would also hit the ground running in no distant time. However, the CBN has actually hiked, the interest rate again. It's beginning to look like a tradition now. But again, they say that it's just a tool to tame, inflation. But over time that the interest rate has been hiked, has it really had any bite on, inflationary pressure or pressures, if you like, in the country? I think these are the questions we're going to be asking, those who show. As fact, we'll be having that conversation with an at the 9 o'clock. How has, impacted businesses and your lives, on a daily basis as a Nigerian, as an average Nigerian on the street? These are the questions we're going to be asking. So I'd encourage you to call in at that time to share your thoughts, because it is indeed very important for you to lend your voice, on and to whatever it is that we are discussing as far as it contributes, to, the nation's development. All right. Well, today is actually the 28th day in the month of November, and of course it is Thursday, like I said earlier. I tell you, the month of November is really coming to an end, and I'm really, really, really excited about it, knowing fully well that December is around the corner, and we're in the coming month of December. Yuletide is here, the festive period or season is here, Christmas is here already. Can you feel it? Can you perceive it? Yes, I can't perceive it. I don't know about you. And you know what? The weather is obviously doing the most at this point in time. The early morning crusade continues right here on the need for you, to say no to bush burning, especially at this point in time. And also, if you're not going to stand back or stay back to monitor and supervise, the bush or bushes that you are burning, it's very important for you to desist from it, because it is absolutely risky. It is not safe, especially during Harmattan. So please do the right thing and be on the lookout, for neighbors, for your friends and fellow Nigerian. Irrefutable, and it has indeed important public health, dimensions. Access to sanitation is key. It is very important. It is absolutely essential for human dignity, health, and well-being. However, it seems to be a tall order for a number of Nigerians, especially in rural areas. Right, I'm already speaking to the menace of open defecation in Nigeria. It is indeed very disturbing. One would say that in some of the communities they don't have modern toilets, and at some point in time people even go to the streams, rivers, to defecate, and at the end of the day you have cases of diarrhea amongst your children, and we keep recording deaths. It is really, really, really disturbing. I can't stress this enough. But again, we need to come together, because it is a collective responsibility to end open defecation in Nigeria. So I'm just here, we as a station, we are here to encourage you and also to charge you to say no to open defecation. I mean, if the worst come to worst, there are public toilets across the country. Almost every nook and cranny you see public toilets. All you have to do is to pay a little token. In the words of an average Nigerian, shikini money is all you have to pay. Maybe 100,000, no, not 100,000 naira, 100 naira or 150 naira, and you do your thing, and you step out, feeling proud. So indeed, it's very, very important for us, to do the right thing, because the impact of open defecation in Nigeria is huge. When I say huge, it is indeed huge. All right. So please, let's come together and ensure, that we practice, proper hygiene, and we should be very intentional on, sanitation. All right, so we can prevent diseases that actually comes with open defecation, and of course poor hygiene. And moving forward, I'd like to talk about road users, motorists. I'd like to encourage you to say no to one-way driving, say no to over speeding. If it is indeed important for you to be at work on time, why don't you wake up early? It's very, very important. All right. I know some people would still want to raise concerns, regarding a very well-structured, transportation, system. But we just have to make do with what we have, right, in the time being, while our fingers are crossed, and patiently hoping for the best. Don't break traffic rules. It's very important as well. Let's be civil at all times, because we are adults, we are civilized people. Let's behave maturely, even as we go about the day's business. It is absolutely important. Stay safe out there as well. Do it away of your nose mask, because Hamatan is here and the weather is quite hazy and even dusty, so you need to protect yourself and keep yourself warm as well. Yes, it's important. I can't even stress this enough. And by the way, have I introduced myself? My name is Omoife Piso-Semere, and of course I will be riding solo this morning on the Eagles Morning Rise Breakfast Show. In a bit, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 things you need to know for today. But just to throw back a little bit, that on this day in the year 2007, Sunday, Bolorunduro Awoni died, and he was a senator in the Third Republic, and he had actually opposed the third term agenda of then outgoing President Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, coming back to 2024, matters are rising. Well, we understand that the petroleum products from the Port Harcourt Refinery Company are exclusively for the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, for now. The oil giant said on Wednesday the products, petrol, diesel, and kerosene, are for retail outlets operated by the NNPCL. Chief Corporate Communications Officer Olufemi Sonoye said. All right. And also, we'd like you to know that the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory on Wednesday reserved the ruling on the bail application of former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello till December 10. And the court ordered the remand of the former governor and his two co-defendants in the of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The acting chief of army staff, Olufemi Oluyede, was on Wednesday grilled by the House of Representatives, a joint committee on defense and army, for his confirmation as the substantive chief of army staff, and the screening session was held in public as the nominee read his profile and answered two questions before it was moved to a closed door session. Moving on, the Nigeria Customs Service in Adamawa has intercepted smuggled petroleum model spirit (PMS) valued at 18.5 million naira. Also intercepted by the service in its operations along the Nigeria-Cameroon border in Adamawa and Taraba State within the past 2 months are 5 vehicles and 2 motorcycles. The naira on Wednesday appreciated to 1,745 naira per dollar in the parallel market from 1,755 naira per dollar on Tuesday, but the naira depreciated to 1,660 naira per dollar in the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, otherwise known as NAFEM. And now the House of Representatives on Wednesday asked its committees on finance, petroleum, upstream and downstream to investigate reports from the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Responsibility Commission alleging that the NNPCL withheld 8.48 trillion naira as claimed subsidies for petrol. Moving on to number 7, where the Kwara State Police Command has said that it arrested 2 suspects as found with the recovered stolen Toyota Camry car in the state. Now, the police command, in a statement by the police public relations officer Ejire Adeyemi Tone on Wednesday, said the car, was reportedly stolen in Lagos and it was found in the Ikpata Oloje area in Ilorin. Moving on, the People's Democratic Party in Bauchi State has suspended the member representing Kirfi local government in the State House of Assembly, Habibu Umar, on allegations of insubordination. Now, this was contained in a statement or letter addressed to the State House of Assembly Speaker Abubakar Suleiman. And the air component of Operation Hardin Kai launched a devastating airstrike against terrorists in Kukawa, Borno. But this is contained in a statement by the Director, Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Lushola Akimboyewa, on Wednesday in Abuja. And the last thing I would like you to know this morning would be the fact that the police command in Jigawa has apprehended 7 persons believed to be responsible for cattle theft in the northwestern state. Its spokesperson, Lawa Shisu, confirmed the development in a statement in Dutse on Wednesday, and Shisu said that 2 of the suspects were apprehended on Tuesday after a combined patrol team intercepted a vehicle carrying 3 cows and 11 sheep in the Ringim area of the state. There you have it on 10 things you need to know today, Thursday, the 28th day in the month of November 2024. That being said, I'd like you to know as well that we are currently streaming on Facebook and YouTube at Eagles FM Abuja. So hurry now to Facebook and YouTube, right, to see what is going on right here in the studios. Of course, we bring you the audio visual experience, all right, and it is, one of its kind, if you ask me. So hurry now, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment. A number of you have done that already. Thank you so much. I'll just quickly react to your comments and just to let you know that we take note of your contributions on our social media platforms, if you like. And so as well that we are also on Instagram, Twitter, now X, and TikTok, all at Eagles FM Abuja. Now let's quickly take a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers. Yes, let's see what the national dailies are reporting today. I've got the Punch newspaper, the Guardian, the Vanguard, the Nation, and of course the Daily Trust newspaper this morning to take a look at. Now, the Punch newspaper leads with Port Harcourt refinery. Marketers threaten boycott as NNPCL juggles petrol price. Marketers threaten boycott as NNPCL juggles petrol price. A right underneath it says dealers insist PMS must be cheaper than Dangote's. NNPCL delays a price portal opening, restricts product. You find that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Tax panel to defend bill at Senate debate today. That's page 29 read. And Tinubu to name new envoys after France and South Africa visits. Details on page 2. Moving on to page 28. Finnish court sets May 2025 a date for Ekpa's trial. And then moving on to page 29. 30-year experience prepared me for Chief of Army Staff job. Oloyede talking there. Moving on to page 7, EFCC opposes Bello's bail application. Court remands ex-governor. Reps to probe 8.4 trillion naira allegedly withheld by NNPCL. You'll find that on page 23. Moving on to pages 4 and 5 this morning on the Punch newspaper, tragedy averted as tanker spills diesel in Lagos. And on page 29, Osun Airport, that is the kicker, APC projects panel clash over relocation. All right, you find that on page 29 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And I'll leave it there this morning for the Punch. The Guardian newspaper leads with 555,000 shareholders forfeit 215 billion naira dividends over costs and inflation. You find that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning, and right on the front page you see a breakdown, that speaks to that particular headline. All right, but all of that you find this morning on page. Power generation stagnates amid promises. Repair of 128 towers at 8.8 billion naira. Details on page 3. Transport-related accidents cause most children's death, Lagos declares. Details on page 4. ABU decries a 310 million naira per session electricity bill. ABU decries 310 million naira per session electricity bill. You find that this morning on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Senate braces for heated debate as tax reform bills set for passage today. Details on page 6. And then court remands Bello, 2 others over alleged 110 billion naira fraud. That's on page 29. Dawn raises alarm as diabetes cases surge, may rise to 783 million by 2045. Details on page 2. Moving on to page 3. I created more states to douse fear of northern domination, says Gowon. And on page 15, Nigeria has sufficient resources to build self-reliant economy, says Obasanjo. I'll leave it there this morning for the Guardian newspaper. Do well to grab a copy to get concrete details. The Vanguard newspaper leads with tax reform bills. Nigerians earning below 1 million naira a year exempted from income tax. Now this comes with 2 riders underneath it. The first one says Senate to pass bills today, and then Oyedele, other experts explain to lawmakers, say bills are pro-poor to tax prosperity. All of that on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Reps investigate discourse over failure to replace obsolete meters. You find that on page 8. And then expert calls for intervention in rising cases of diabetes. Details on page 6. Moving on to page 7. Alleged 110 billion naira fraud. Ex-Governor Bello remanded in EFCC custody. And just above the Vanguard, logo, Naira depreciation boosts foreign portfolio investment by 155.5%. And you find that one on page 19. LNG. Shell starting arbitration hearing with Venture Global, says CEO. Details on page. Stop torturing suspects. And then on page 11, gunmen kidnap 3 from innocent showroom in Anambra. Right, and we have a story right here on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, but you can find details of that story on page 31. It says Super Eagles qualify for 2026 World Cup. Bruce talking there, and that's just about the size of the headlines I will be taking from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Let's take a quick look at The Nation. The Nation is leads with this particular story here, talking about a statement, made by, Gowon, where he says, make national interest priority. Gowon tells North leaders. Right underneath it says, ex-head of state advises Shekarau-led group. You find details of our story on the front page, and it continues on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. But you have an excerpt right there. I'd like to read that, to your hearing. It says, let's think beyond regional interest. Whatever the North does must serve the greater interest of Nigeria. But just like I said, you find details of our story on the front page, and it continues right on page 2 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Port Harcourt Refinery petrol only for NNPCL outlets. Details on the front page, and it continues on page 4. Right underneath it says, ex-governor remanded in EFCC custody. Details on the front page, it continues on page 4. Oyo government begins trial of auxiliary, and that's on page 6. Moving on to page 7, House of Reps passes to MTEF. And here this one says, how tax reforms will transform economy by President team. Details on page 4. Edo schools in deplorable condition, says Okpebolo. Hospital not completed. Details on page 6. Moving on to page 2. Act now on Almajiri time bomb, says Governor Sule. LNG, that is the kicker, Shell starting arbitration hearings with Venture Global, says CEO. And that's just about the size of it for the Nation newspaper. The Daily Trust newspaper leads with tax bills as well. Senate brushes aside opposition, admits presidential committee. Right underneath it says to debate proposed reform legislations today. Details on the front page, it continues on page 4. Fraud. Yahaya Bello remanded for fresh arraignment today. Details on page 3. And then moving on to page 19, operators raise safety concerns over air traffic controllers shortage. And moving on, TED Fund suspends foreign scholarship over cost and abscondment. All right, okay, I think that's just about it for the Daily Trust newspaper as well. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper would be the last newspaper to take a look at. Row in Senate over tax reform bills. Ndume Ningi battle DSP Barau over appearance of Oyedele Zak in chamber. Bills will ensure sustainable growth. Task Reform Committee chairman talking there. All of that on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Adeleke, that is the kicker. I have constructed over 120 kilometers of roads within 2 years. It says my administration did not obtain loan. Details on page 6. LNG, Shell starting arbitration hearings with Venture Global, says CEO. Details on page 13. CBN fixes $100,000 minimum trade for banks on foreign forex platform. You find that on page 12. And on page 5, COS, as the Chief of Army Staff, Senate screens Oluyede. All right, Supreme Court bars Njoku from parading himself as Afghan National Chairman. That's on page 3. Still on page 3, court remands Yahaya Bello in EFCC custody to deliver ruling on bail application December 10. FCTA's list of CFO defaulters on pages 18 to 178. All right. And on page 3, I created more states to erase fear of northern domination to elder statesman Gowon. And you find that on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As said for, the national dailies this morning, I mean, the headlines that I will be taking across the national dailies, that's just about it. We encourage you to grab a copy or copies of these national dailies if you can, to get concrete details of these, reviewed headlines, because times, whether we like it or not, the headlines can be very catchy, somehow it ends up, triggering, views and counter views of which we are, open to. But of course, it's good, you read through to get concrete details of these reviewed headlines. Now, the studio lines are open. You can call in to share your thoughts, on these headlines. What do you make of these headlines? You like to share your 2 cents? by way of voice call or message or even a voice note, please reach out to us on 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. Voice note or image can be sent to WhatsApp call on 090-9705-440. As always, stay civil and avoid use of vulgar language. Turn down the volume of your radio set so we can hear ourselves clearly. Maintain 2 minutes or even less so we can accommodate diverse views on the newspaper review segment at this morning. All right. Hello, good morning to you. Do well to call back. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My queen, good morning. No.
Good morning to you, Dr. Prince Ike.
Ike, my king.
He is very well, thank you.
I beg God, I pray to God Almighty to give you people charisma to push on one of them. It's not easy. We cannot be at one. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Where are you from today, Dr. Prince Ike?
Hello, ma.
Yes, where are you calling from today?
Oh, from Karimo.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, please, I don't know whether you people have read this first subsidy remove made about 40 watts, 1,000 people at Kano, mechanic to be jobless.
First subsidy removal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, we don't have the facts, but we'll try to verify that. But please go ahead.
Okay, as I'm saying to this radio station, it's a welcome development, but the federal government begging them, they should what? They are what we call harsh policies that have been made a lot of people to be suffering. No need for us to be strong as Nigeria because God has blessed us, both human and natural resources. You know, we are number 6 most crude oil producing nation in the world, but you are lacking fuel. Are you getting me? This is the only subsidy that we use, the common men are used to what? To help themselves. I get me.
Right.
You know, you remember we are practicing what we call mono economy. You know, everything on earth, as far as Nigeria is concerned, radiate under the MBS umbrella of fuel or oil. In terms of, is it communication, industry, education, transportation? You know, please, they should be able to revive and let's go back to that subsidy because it will help us. There's no need for us as Nigerians to be a borrowing nation. They have tagged us as number 3rd most borrowed nation in the world, which is improper. It's anti-human. It's anti-cultural. Understand me? Because we can never be a blessed nation. They will be lacking behind. People are selling their fuel, their phone, their hands to make, to get food to eat. People are selling their television here and there, please, because any property that has been got. Or not what. So just like that. Please, let my case so that people can call in.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prince Ike from Old Karimo, for your line of thought. And indeed, it is true. Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from this morning?
Hey, Danoja, I'm calling from Kuala in Abuja here.
Good to have you. Good to have you, Elder. Please go ahead.
My regard to Professor Ike.
All right.
Ike. And they call it Bishop Ike.
All right.
Ike. And they call it Bishop Ike.
All right.
I regard to him.
All right.
My regard to them. This thing has sent us out from business. So he has set a role in mechanics and internet.
All right.
Let me go directly to my own point.
Okay.
Governor Sule has said the true thing. Almageri is a time bomb in the north here. And then the bomb don't begin to explode. My sister, as today work now, if you don't lock your door well before you come home, they don't carry a pot of soup, carry everything.
Even pot of soup?
If you don't lock your door well, if they did any house where there's nobody there,
yes.
This gambler they will climb up and remove all the roof, remove all the window. And then all the little Almagiri, those people where they used to train. Come out this morning when students in the school. You see them going about with plates, begging food, toothless, no slippers, nothing. In the night, they are moving in the no they will shoot you with that dagger. Everywhere in Abuja here, find out from everywhere, they generate from Almagiri. So somebody from South, the president of this country, good luck, Jonathan. He came, you see the problem of Albagiri. We are establishing the Albagiri school for them. But a president of North here, come and cancel it. And cancel it. Go everywhere in the world. You can never see children running about in the state in the morning.
Was it cancelled? Was it cancelled or it was poorly managed?
Huh?
Marjorie,
they close it. They close it. Go to Sokoto. Go to everywhere. They close those Albagiri schools. They close it.
All right.
Not to say it's working. They close it.
All right.
Even the one with the state control area, they close the whole it.
Right.
And then they have to go and begin the bed. If you not be wicked, somebody will born a woman child, keep it for house or marriage, and then he born a man child. Within 4 years, he push him go out or no place to go and begin the bed. The man like where you hand over this child to him, Malan has no money to feed this child. He has nowhere to, he not send food to Malan to feed them or send money to him. Malan has to send them, go out in the morning, started begging. And then more they beg, more than see the city, more than go white.
All right, Elder Noja.
Let me round up, please.
All right.
A woman selling food in Zubade last week. They said to the woman was selling food. They begin to talk before the woman know. The two handsets where he put on top of cooler. They carry it go. Carry it go.
All right.
So, if we in the north here, let us return our children to school.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elder Noja. Indeed, the children, they actually, they are supposed to be in school, right? Not roaming the streets. And I mean, with regards to you giving birth to a number of children, you can take care of, as opposed to just giving birth to children like that without, measures, in place or ground to cater for their needs. But indeed, it is very disturbing, and somehow your submission speaks to the fact that there is indeed a great need, for us to amplify, the rights of the boy child, right? If you have a girl child, you keep them at home. Somehow you nurturing them and kind of like prepping them for marriage, and even early marriage, as it were, and then you send the boy child out there to hustle at an early age. No, coming to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, GB.
How are you, my name is
Thank you. All right. Where are you calling from today?
Yes, I'm calling from last time.
All right, please go ahead.
The marketers are saying they buy from NNPC. Well, NNPC stations have enough outlets to sell their fuel. The mayor should not know, because the government refinery, they'll be dashing them fuel. No. The cost of buying crude is both for NNPC and Dangote at the same price.
But GB, the spark is ongoing between these stakeholders. I've been talking about the Dangote refinery, the NNPCL, and now the Port Harcourt refinery. How justified is it to say that petroleum products from the Port Harcourt refinery are exclusively for the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited?
What they are saying now that the level of production is not enough to sell for outsider. I can have something in my house. I will leave it and I'm going to buy from Dangote. The one that is working now, can only process 20,000 barrels of food per day. That's what so the volume there is not enough, even for any outlet. That's what they are saying. That as today now, they will not be selling to us because they need to satisfy their own outlet first before they talk of giving out. That's the logic behind it. And the market also have imported fuel, which they are selling. Now Dangote is advertising his fuel now. Go online, you will see Dangote saying our fuel is now around 70 naira. That's the competition we're looking about. That's what we call the regulation, competition. So if you want to import the fuel, if you think you can import and sell better, because if you can produce import, some refinery are producing. So what I'm saying is that NNPC will not force anyone to buy from him, and nobody should expect NNPC to dash fuel at the loss. They have to be talking. They are investing in. Investors want to know more. I can come and invest in Nigeria. Imagine a place where you have to do at the same rate. Somebody is collecting CBN, from CBN at 150 naira. Another person collecting in the black market for 700 naira. And that's a good policy that
you can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal 1090-9705-4450. Hello, good morning. Hello, there. Good morning to you. All right. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Dr.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Chidin Dubis. I'm calling from Kaduna, Dumeis in Kaduna Road.
All right, Chidin Dubisi, please go ahead.
Madam, like people say they don't take mouth, put fish for sea. Nigeria, somebody when they talk say like somebody they do something where Nigeria go take come, foreigners go take come to invest in Nigeria. For where? What is on ground? Foreigners, where investors want to come to Nigeria to invest, know Nigeria more than you. We be Nigerians. What the investors know your country more than you. Where did the entity? What is it? NEPA? Is it the law? Is it what criterion that anybody here, a foreigner, has to come and invest now in Nigeria? That's a part. And this whole issue, NNPC is still blending. They are not refining. Let's get this one straight. They are not refining. Then their price is high, and Nigerians expect them to reduce their price to normal price, even lesser than Gotti. I want to ask, how much does it cost those people they call illegal refineries to produce fuel? I ask again, is their product killing motor engine? Why should we be telling ourselves something that is unbelievable? All Nigerians are not foolish. And those people that have opportunities, it does not mean that they are better than Nigerians. Before they talk to us, let them think twice.
Okay.
The prices is not okay. The prices is not okay. NNPC is supposed to sell cheaper than this crude oil is our own.
Okay.
It's our own. It's not theirs. How can they say to their outlets, Nigerian institutions want a loan?
All right, let's leave it here, GBC. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Moses calling from Tuleja.
Good to have you, Moses. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a good one for the opening of our refineries. There are some guidelines that need to follow the opening. One, cabals that will not allow the refineries to work will be checkmate. Because if these people are not checkmate to make sure that they up their hands, they frustrate the effort of the government. And like the last caller just said, if crude oil is a gift from God, take note of that. So people who agitate that we don't expect the price to come down, that is human ideology and selfish ambition. If in Libya, that their own citizens enjoy fuel at the rate of 50-something naira compared to our naira, then we don't see no reason why God bless us with this crude oil that we refine in our own country, that you cannot tell me that the price will not come down. A private sector is different than a government property. Yes, we know. This is the only way that Nigerians, that the government can help its own market. It's a gift from God.
All right.
I thank God that this refinery is open. So the government should make sure
that they should guide
Are you there, Moses?
people. And God who gave us the crude oil, it will be a blessing to us, not a cost.
All right.
Thank you, Ife, for the good job you are doing.
Thank you very
God
much,
bless you.
Moses. Thank you so much. All right, we'll just go pay this bill, and we'll be back in a moment to take more calls and also, take a look at the contributions we have on the WhatsApp portal. Join us again.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Wow, this feature phone is so good.
Which phone is that?
It is the itel IT5627. It comes with a 2500 mAh battery, which gives you 55 hours of standby use. Type-C charger, triple SIM slot, 3.0-inch screen, plus the 24 months warranty of worry-free use.
Huh? 24 months warranty?
Yes, go and get yours. itel IT5627. New itel, new experience.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. And if you are just joining us, this is the Pages, right? It's actually part of the Eagles Morning Rise breakfast show. And on here, we take a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers and also open the studio lines, for you to call in to share your 2 cents or your thoughts on these, blazing headlines. And so far, it's been, a flurry of views and counter views, let me put it that way. And the studio lines are still open, as a matter of fact. 09087668888 or 09073530044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 0909705 4450. And just to refresh our minds that we are presently streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So go on now to Facebook and YouTube to check us out at Eagles FM Abuja. All right. You can also link with us on Instagram, at Twitter, now X, and TikTok, all at Eagles FM Abuja. Please do to drop a comment, all right? Like and also share, our videos. It's very, very important. I see some of the messages right here on the WhatsApp, the Facebook, page. Wachuku Fortune, Kennedy Ingi. Kennedy says, good morning to all positive thinking Nigerians. King Kennedy from Karu, thank you so much. And then Wachuku Fortune says, oh, finally, put a face to the voice. Nice to see you. Thanks for getting up every morning to keep us informed. Cheers, Efe. Thank you so much, Wachuku. And then, all right, let's now head on to the WhatsApp portal to take some of the messages that we have on here. This one here coming from Abbas. Abbas always reporting from Dutse. He says, good morning, Madam Omoefe. Trust you are doing good. Yes, and I trust you are. My take on Port Harcourt refinery. Oil marketers should be very careful how they, go about trying to incite in the populace. Really? And this was same marketers that told the whole world Dangote product was more expensive than imported one. Today, they are singing a different tune. Please, I want to advise the NNPCL that there should be no price discrimination, because we know Port Harcourt refinery will be giving crude product lesser than Dangote. Therefore, their price ought to be much more cheaper. Okay. Ideally, crude product for domestic consumption is normally given at a more cheaper rate to homegrown refinery. Furthermore, I want to ask, why is the price of kerosene and diesel not going down? All right, Abbas from Duse is actually asking a number of questions already, but thank you so much for that message. And then Chinonso from Suleja says, sometimes I get tired hearing from some of our callers telling us that Nigerians should not expect NNPCL products to be cheaper than that of Dangote's products. What do we gain as Nigerians, or as a Nigerian? Speaking for the government when they are not the spokesperson of the NNPCL. Now, wow for some of our callers. Now, wow for you too, Chinonso from Suleja. It is their opinion, and of course we respect it, all right? And then Samuel from Kuje says, a wonderful and fine good morning to you, my sister Omoefe. Good morning to you, Samuel. He says, congratulations and welcome to another great new day. Please, I want to ask, what exactly is the problem with the NNPCL management? I asked this question because it seems like whoever is at the helm of affairs of the NNPCL does not have direction and human heart. God will judge them for making life unbearable for the masses of this country. Well, whether anyone believes it or not, one thing is sure: posterity will judge every one of us, whether for doing good or doing bad. Omo Efeme, God bless your day in Jesus' name. And you too, Samuel, thank you so much, for that message. Well, somehow one would say that it's all business, strategy. Business actually entails, critical calculation, right? But again, should it be at the expense, of, the masses? The conversation does not end here, right? It continues. And apparently, December is going to be an eventful month because we definitely will be having a lot to chew on, especially with, the recent development, from the Port Harcourt refinery. You also talked about, the 2025 budget that is underway. The tax reform bills is another thing to also look at for, all right? And a host of other things. Inflation, it is not, going down, and it doesn't look like, well, I wouldn't want to say it doesn't look like, but according to, expert analysis, it doesn't look like it's going to, drop anytime soon, especially with, the further hike, in interest rate. But again, the conversation continues. We are Nigerians and we must continue to lend our voice or voices, as it were, on these issues. All right, let's see if we can take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, my name is Michael. I'm calling from Nasarawa.
Michael from Nasarawa, please go ahead.
Yes, still in the issue of the oil. I think my question I want to ask, if we did not have this crude in our country, what could have been our fate?
Agriculture, perhaps?
Okay, agriculture.
Perhaps.
Okay, perhaps.
Yes.
Now, why I ask the question is that we are talking about the resources we already have in our country. We already have in our country. Now, this punishment is not coming from the God who have given all this, who have given all these resources. It is our own human beings that are using it to punish a fellow human being. Why should we every time debating how much the oil? I mean, people did not benefit from the resources that were given to us by God. I mean, who lose? Who will benefit? I don't say much. People doesn't have this in how we are importing it. We are importing it. I mean, who can understand? Or what about exactly what we have already in our country? Is not benefiting from it. And every time we engage ourselves, people are deliberating about coming back of refinery, the Port Harcourt refinery. I mean, for me, we cannot rejoice. The only time I rejoice is that when we begin to see that a little of fuel are being sold for 300 naira, or probably 200 naira, that is the only time we begin to rejoice.
All right.
Yes, all this abracadabra. The more you look, the less you see. I mean, we can no longer take it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Michael. Well, do you think we'll ever get to that point in time where petrol will be sold for 300 or even 200 naira per liter? Again, they say the only thing constant in life is change. It may have been sold for 180 naira, back then, but this is 2024. Now let's head on to the WhatsApp portal to take some of the voice notes that we have on here. Let's take a listen to this one.
Yesterday good morning, my name is Robert. Yesterday when I was celebrating my 50th birthday, I am calling from Napo. Thank you. Extend my greeting to the only chief, Mr. Edward, and the family. I am celebrating from now to Sunday. Whoever is available that's close to Napo, meet me. It's not easy to be 50 years. Thank you and God bless you.
Indeed, it's not easy to be 50 years old. Congratulations to you, Honorable Edward from Mapo. And indeed, I was actually off duty yesterday. There is something called division of labor, right? But I trust UD actually, covered up, for me very well. Maybe I was here in the spirit. You never can tell. Once again, congratulations and cheers to a blessed year. Let's take a listen to this one.
Good morning. I celebrate you. I celebrate our callers. I celebrate our listeners. I celebrate Nigerians all. My name is Triple D from Waru. Well, on the issue of Port Harcourt refinery, will corruption and then the kind of politics we are playing allow Nigerians to have access and enjoy the dividends of that refinery as part of what belongs to us in this country? I pray they take away politics and other vices in order for that refinery to remain the functional system of this country. Well, on the issue of Yaya Bello, is he still bearing the white lion? And what is the meaning of that white lion? If ordinary human being will bring him to book, oh, Nigeria, we'll get it right by the special grace of God. We'll get it right. Let Yaya Bello refund all the money, because he is one of the leaders in this country that if tomorrow any power is given to him, meaning there will be no accountability. God bless Nigeria, and Nigeria will get it right very soon. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Triple D would like to share the optimism that we definitely would get it right. It's just a matter of time. And as to whether or not it's still been addressed as the white lion, I don't know. Let's take a listen to this one.
Good morning, Nigeria. Daniel from Kurudu.
Good morning.
Honestly, I want to talk about the issue of tax reform in the National Assembly that is causing an uproar. Yesterday, some northern senators staged a walkout. You see, to my knowledge, every state in the north has a capacity to region to an industrial region. If the leaders, if the governors, if the center put their heads together, just like what is happening in Benue State, the governor is building an industry, a company that produces juice company, because that the state will have internal generation revenue that will help the state instead of all of them depending on the search. Every state has a capacity to produce one thing or the other. It is left for the governors to look inward, and by so doing, every region of the country will grow very well. Concerning Yaya Bello, I wonder why he has been on the run. Thank God he has his day. Maybe he has his day in court today, and by so doing, they will grant him be a free man. So no need of hide and all this while. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Dan, for your line of thought right there. And that's it for the pages this month, because we can't go any further. All right, Vic is somewhere around the presses, and I'm sure that he's all geared up to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sport. Thank you all for keeping us company like you always do on all that we're on here. I will be back at 9 a.m. this morning to assess the rationale behind interest rate hikes. All right, interest rates, or raising interest rate as a monetary policy tool, it has been used by central banks to combat inflation across the globe. But do you think that the aggressive hike in interest rates, do you think it has been able to tame or curb inflation in Nigeria ever since it started, especially on